The Georgia Senate GOP is kicking out a state senator named Colton Moore, who is vice chair of the Georgia Freedom Caucus. All because he called for a special session of the legislature to investigate Fulton County DA Fani Willis. That should be just common sense. But here we go again. Establishment Republicans pretending to care about Soros DAs at the state and local levels and pretending to care about regime apparatchiks at the federal level inside the FBI and DOJ. But when it comes time to actually do something about it, they act like America First conservatives are the crazy ones to suggest that we use the power granted to us by the voters to do more than just grandstand around election time, calling for more lukewarm reform and getting sound bites on Fox. No, you Republicans in office have power just like the Democrats do. Learn to use it. Joining us now to discuss is the man himself, Colton Moore, Georgia State Senator representing District 53. Senator, thanks for being here tonight.
Jared, thank you so much for having me.
Great. So talk to us about this ouster that I guess the GOP caucus pulled on you. What does that exactly mean for the audience to know?
Well, I mean, it's not the GOP caucus. It's the rhinoceros caucus. It's the rhino caucus. I'm the Republican here. I mean, for the first time in my life, Kara, you've got GOPs in the metropolitan areas like Cobb County and Gwinnett to more rural areas like Catoosa County and Chatham County way down south. All of these GOPs, what do they want? They want to see justice, not injustice. They don't want to see their tax money funding someone like Fani Willis, who's using their tax dollars to take on political prisoners. What have I been doing for the last month? I've been calling for a special session. I've been asking people to call their state senators and their state representatives. There's been so much heat on this caucus of rhinos that they have decided it was easier to oust me than Fani Willis.
And see, that's what bothers me so much. Now, I know there are some Republicans who will throw Trump under the bus and they'll clutch at their pearls and say, oh, he's a very bad man. We don't like him in the party. But then there's other Republicans who are also weak spine like that, but they'll at least pretend to their voters and go, oh, we care so much about these indictments. We care so much about a weaponized judicial system against conservatives. But then when you say, okay, guys, well, then let's do something about it. Let's act like what we say is true, because it is true that there is a revolution, as Tucker Carlson was saying, that's going on outside. Let's not be caught unawares. Right now, we have some legal frameworks that we can use step by step. Here's what we do to go after someone like Fani Willis, who is inappropriately using and wielding her power to influence next year's election. And yet those same Republicans will look at you, like we were saying a moment ago, like you're the crazy one. Does that just boggle your mind that the GOP, the party itself, is so split? They'll say one thing one day, but do something else the next day.
You know, it's mind-boggling to me that these same senators continue to explain things to their constituencies instead of listening to their constituencies like I have with mine. I mean, it's very clear in Northwest Georgia, my constituents do not want to see their tax dollars funding Fani Willis. They want to see Fani Willis investigated. They have questions they want answers to, like why in the world did this indictment come out hours before the grand jury ever concluded? Right? That's what we as a legislature have the ability to do. That's what I'm calling for the special session. But notice that when they voted me out of the caucus, Kara, they did it in secret ballot. They didn't have the courage to come out and do it in the open. So then they got leadership to present the letter to me. And of the 6 members of leadership, one was the only one who didn't put his name on the letter. It's mind-boggling to me that, you know, in this fight to take out the real enemy that's Fani Willis, they're more upset that I'm encouraging their constituents to call them and take action.
You know, and I think that's a very important distinction that you point out, that some of your elected colleagues, instead of telling the base, telling their voters how it's going to be, that maybe they should listen and then do what they're elected to do. They're supposed to be serving those who voted them into office like you're trying to do, but the rest of, I guess, your colleagues, they would rather do the explaining because, I don't know, maybe they want to be like Dana Perino and get the fancy invites to all the Clinton initiatives and all these other Soros parties. I don't know what's going on, but I know it's tempting for many. They'd rather, like you said, throw you under the bus instead of throwing away, I guess, their connections and everything else they want. Now, I've talked to some other experts as well on the show who say something very similar as you, that there are steps that the state legislature could be taking. You've named some of them. What are some other steps that the state legislature could be doing instead of voting to oust you?